Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out 5 British things I love as an American in the UK.
Hi and welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual
Hello,
UK and
Kaylin.
American citizen living in the UK for over 12 years now. Every once in a while, I do a new video on things that I'm currently loving about the UK, and let's just start. This video is filmed around Easter, so it's kind of inspiring some of my choices, but the first thing on my list...
Wait, before you get to it, Kaylin, I just want to say y'all be sure to go to I was going to say be sure to go to Kaylin's channel, but be sure to go to Girl Gone London and like and subscribe. I think if you look for Kaylin, probably not going to show up. But hey, you know what? Something that struck me right at the beginning here was the lighting on her video. Something about it looks really good. I don't know. She's upped her lighting game, or maybe it's the way the sun's coming in. I don't know. But it looks good, Kaylin. Way to go. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I got a new mug. The graphic is a little different. It took 2 months for this mug to come in. I ordered this 2 months ago. So, if you ordered a mug, and I appreciate it if you did, it might take a minute. I ordered it around the time that all that tariff stuff was happening, so maybe it had something to do with that. I don't know. But here's the old mug. See how it's different? Can you see that? Is it showing up? Went from the, I don't remember what this font is called, to the, I don't remember what this font is called either, but changed the font. Anyway, what is Kaylin loving about the UK these days? Candy, probably.
Do a new video on things that I'm currently loving about the UK, and let's just start. This video is filmed around Easter, so it's kind of inspiring some of my choices, but the first thing on my list is Cadbury mini eggs, typically found around Easter time, and they look like this. To be honest, I just think they're fun. I just think they're colorful. I just think they're fun to snack on around the Easter holidays.
What's in them?
I've eaten way too many of them this weekend, and Cadbury's is always at the top of my list when it comes to things I love about the UK because their chocolate is very good. I know a lot of people will comment and say, there's even better than Cadbury's in the UK, but compared to American chocolate, Cadbury's is really, really good. And I felt like telling you all that I like Cadbury mini eggs. Comment below if you feel the same.
I don't feel the same because I've never had them. But yeah, y'all, I learned that American chocolate has bucolic acid in it, which is the same kind of stuff that's in vomit, which is why our chocolate tastes like vomit. Literally. Because it is vomit. Same ingredients. Exact same ingredients as vomit. Can I get Cadbury mini eggs in California? Here's a bag of them on eBay for $27.49. No, thank you. I do like the packaging. I like the packaging. Okay, $4. That's right. What's in them? Chocolate? Okay. This is probably like a big M&M, but better, right? Better chocolate. Probably creamier. I have had the Cadbury chocolate, and it is superior to Hershey's, I have to say. Sorry, Mr. Hershey, you f***ed up. You put vomit in your chocolate. F*** you. F*** you. F*** you. F*** Hershey's. The egg is solid milk chocolate encased in a thin coating of hard candy shell. It's like a big, better M&M, but better, right? Nice. Oh, also, probably better than M&M's because of the colorings used are anisotropic, beetroot, red paprika extract, and carotenes instead of red number 5 or whatever it is. Okay, Cadbury mini eggs. Wait, I didn't find out if I can get them in California, actually. British Corner Shop is the place that had them online. $40 on Amazon. No thanks. I'm going to hold off on the Cadbury mini eggs for now. Tell me more, Kaylin.
Next thing on my list is daffodils in the springtime. I have loved daffodils in the UK since the very first time I lived here in January to April of 2012. And when I tell you in April of 2012, when the daffodils started blooming, everything was yellow and bright and springy, I was relieved because it was my first ever winter coming from Florida, but my first ever English winter. And when the gray goes and the world becomes more colorful and the daffodils start blooming, it's really, calm and peaceful. And ever since then, I've enjoyed a daffodil in the springtime. And this is not exclusive to the UK, but it doesn't happen in Florida. So this was something new to me. And yes, I am one of those people who buy the ones in the supermarket that are about to bloom in like 30 seconds and then they die in like 2 days, and I put them on my table. Yes. So I love daffodils outside. I love daffodils in my house. And I just love daffodils in the UK in the springtime.
Okay. I didn't expect this. Daffodils. I'm pretty indifferent to daffodils, I think. I mean, they're pretty. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I f***ing hate daffodils. Just because I want to be contrarian sometimes. And you know, she said in April they start blooming. And I have to tell you, something like 99% of my viewers are British. And when April rolls around, my views go down. And I think it's because the Brits are outside experiencing these daffodils. The weather gets nice. They go outside. Daffodils. Why wouldn't you be outside experiencing the daffodils rather than watching YouTube? So I'm going to say downvote to daffodils. I don't like daffodils. They affect my analytics. I mean, you know I'm kidding. I have no hate for flowers. The Romans are known to have planted daffodils in memory of loved ones or comrades fallen in battle. So we have the Romans to thank for my numbers dipping in April. Way to go, Roman Empire. You f***ed us up again.
And the next thing I love about the UK, and this kind of has to do with my own experience here, is the fact that I now have 2 vocabularies, and I feel like I speak 2 different languages when it comes to English or British English and American English. I've done videos on this topic before, but I do really enjoy some British words. I think bin is easier to say than garbage can, and I do really like the word lovely. I wanted to share something that is lovely in my life right now, and that's Wondershare Filmora, the sponsor of today's video. As someone who makes long-form educational YouTube content, I love what I do here, but I've been wondering about expanding into YouTube Shorts to increase my reach. Maybe you are also a content creator, or maybe you create educational clips for your job or marketing materials for a hobby or nonprofit you're involved in. With Filmora's Smart Short Clips, I've been able to transform my long content into short, dynamic clips with a few clicks of a button to start diversifying my reach online. Filmora uses AI. One of the few uses I do think AI is great for, to analyze my video and help condense it down into bite-sized clips. For instance, I took this video from a few months ago, 5 winter items I had never seen before moving to the UK, and I uploaded it easily to Filmora Wondershare. I got to choose the language, the length of the new video, anywhere from 0 seconds to 300 seconds, depending on what platform you want to post on, as well as the type of content and what type of template I wanted to use. The whole thing took me just a few button clicks and less than 10 seconds to make my decisions, and then it took over and generated a variety of options for me to use. It can also easily reframe your horizontal videos, which mine are, into vertical videos, as well as the other way around. If you've ever noticed, YouTube Shorts are vertical and YouTube long-form content is horizontal, and I'm not technical enough to know how to transform my content like this, but I don't have to be, and you don't have to be, with the Smart Short Clips feature. You can download Wondershare Filmora with the link in my description and let it help you create your own highlight clips for your business, passions, or community today. Now, the next thing on my list, I wrote down the level of sun when it does come out, and let me explain. So, being from Florida...
What was the last thing she said? I took a little nap. I hope you don't mind. The vocabulary. Yeah. Okay. The languages are technically the same, but really they're very different. Like very different. That is one of the things that I like about the UK as well. It's the language differences, the accents. So different. It's fascinating that it's technically the same language, but really it's not.
Now, the next thing on my list, I wrote down the level of sun when it does come out, and let me explain. So, being from Florida, I'm used to the sun being out most of the year, and the Florida sun is wonderful. I'm not gonna lie, there is something magical about living in a place where the sun is almost always shining. However, the level and intensity of the sun in Florida can get very, very, very intense. Too intense. Like somebody turned up the sun to a degree that nobody actually needs. It's too high. And I know British people who are sometimes struggling with the weather here are going to be like, you can never turn the sun up too high. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
In the UK, when the sun does decide to appear, the intensity of the sun is often perfect. It's like somebody turned it to the exact right temperature where it's not so... I'm not even talking heat here. I'm not actually talking temperature. I'm talking the brightness of the sun. And I just think the level of brightness of the sun in the UK when it does come out is perfect. It's exactly what you need. It's bright enough to know the sun is out and to get that vitamin D, but it's not so bright that it's just like scorching everything and your eyes, and it's just too much. So the level of sun in the UK when it does appear is very good. And the next thing on my list...
Interesting. Yeah. I grew up in Florida as well, if you didn't know that already. And I was just there. I live in California now, and the sun is like a laser here. But you have this cool ocean breeze that kind of mitigates that laser feel. But when the ocean breeze stops, the wind comes from the desert, and it becomes a hurricane of fire. Hurricane of fire. But in Florida, it's humid. So you have the laser sun, but you also have like hot water floating around you in the air. I wonder if her liking the sun in Britain more has to do with like where Britain is on the earth, you know? Higher latitude, so the sun is like not as direct. Like Florida is closer to the equator, so the sun is more... So is California. Like Florida's here, California's just a little bit up. Laser. But Britain's way up here. Like right there. And so it's just like caressing it. Right? That's probably what it is. Equator stuff, Earth, spatial orbits.
And the next thing on my list is grass. Actual grass on the ground. I love grass in the UK, and by that I mean standing on it in my bare feet, sitting on it for a picnic.
Okay.
You might wonder why I would pick grass as something that I enjoy about the UK.
That's exactly what I was thinking. She's reading my mind.
This is because in Florida we have very different grass. So the best way that I can explain it, it looks like this, though you might not necessarily be able to tell what I mean, but the blades of
They're
grass
big.
Are very individual. Each blade is very thick.
Yes.
Compared to English grass, typically, which there's different types of grass here, but typically it's like a thin, softer grass, and that makes it a lot nicer just to, again, to have a picnic on. Florida grass is very, very itchy. And that's not just because I have hay fever, just the actual grass itself is itchy, whereas I feel like in the UK, again, it's just softer, it's more pillowy, it's more welcoming to
like
sit
a golf
on.
course.
And the next thing on my list...
Yeah. Again, I grew up in Florida, and I feel like in the central part of Florida, there is that, like, I would call it normal grass that we have in the rest of the eastern side of the United States, and I assume that it's similar in Britain. Maybe more like a Bermuda grass or golf course grass, like it's really small blades. But in Florida, I think that grass is called St. Augustine grass, and when you step on it, it feels like you're stepping on a netting, like it sinks down like there's a mesh and you're stepping on it. It's strange. The blades are big. I'm not sure why that is. Now, in California, we don't really have grass. There is grass, but it's usually been imported from somewhere else because the actual ground is like dirt and rocks. It's a desert, you know? Some people put AstroTurf in their yard, which is a crazy thing. Never saw that before coming to California. And like I said, I was just in Florida 8 days ago, and something I noticed as soon as I got there, My mom picked me up from the airport. We were driving around. Everything was so green. So green. Grass everywhere. Trees, green. In California, there's only grass where you plant it. Grass is intentionally planted places. But in Florida, it just grows wherever. If you don't do anything to the ground, grass is probably going to grow there. You know? I think it's the same in Britain. Grass is just the default ground, right? I think that's right. Tell me more, Caitlin.
And the next thing on my list is old ruins. I do love in the UK how many, well, not that I like that things are in ruins, but there's a lot of history to be found, and you can just be driving in some random village or in some random area and come across this history and these ruins just on your typical Tuesday as you're driving to the supermarket. You don't necessarily have to be going to an attraction to come across something that, again, is full of history, often dating back to something like medieval times. Obviously, being from America, this is very uncommon to see in America. If you're going to something historic in Florida, you would have to take a day trip to somewhere like St. Augustine, which was the founding place of Florida. And are there old things there? Yes. Are they as old as the UK? Obviously not. And also you have to go out of your way and make a point to do that. Whereas we're just surrounded by history and ruins and castles and just a lot of old stuff that's very interesting in the UK. And to zigzag from that...
Yeah, funny she mentioned St. Augustine because my dad used to live there. So I went to St. Augustine a lot, especially for holidays. And there's an old Spanish fort there. It's 500 years old, I think. But that's about it as far as ruins go. There are Native American mounds, but... Oh, and like Civil War ditches. I'm into ruins. I think it's cool. I think it gives you a perspective that we don't often encounter in America, you know?
And to zigzag from that, this has nothing to do with culture or history. I like the discounts in some of the supermarkets, particularly Co-op and Asda are the ones I know of that definitely do it, but I know that others do, Tesco as well. I love a discount of something that is about to expire and they put the little yellow barcode on it and put it in the specific discount place in that store. And it feels like you're Christmas shopping every time you go to see what new things might be discounted, what is something that you needed to buy that actually is already discounted. You feel like you've just won the lottery. In the US, this is not as common. I'm not sure I've ever seen this in a US grocery store. I think there are different laws on what you're able to sell or how it works. I'm not saying we don't do discounts, but that yellow sticker kind of clearance on food items is not something that I was used to living in Florida. So coming here, I do always hit the discount section first to see, again, if anything sparks my interest that maybe I wouldn't typically buy unless it's discounted, or if the things that I actually wanted to buy are discounted anyway. And also, can I just say, for those of you who are familiar with Co-op, Co-op does tend to be very expensive, but when you go into the discount section and you find like strawberries for 10p, there's nothing better. And that brings me to the end of my list. From grass...
Strawberries for 10p? Wow. Y'all, I just bought organic strawberries from a local organic grocery store. $7. And when I got them home, this morning I opened up to make some oatmeal. All the strawberries on the outside looked perfect. But when you remove the first layer on the top, there's like a ball of mold in the middle of it. Come on now. That should be in a discount bin, right? You shouldn't be paying $7 for moldy strawberries. Come on, America. I will say, though, that I have seen the discount bin. I like the idea of a yellow sticker and that becoming a universal language for discounts. We don't have that. In another grocery store nearby, there is a discount bin, but it's for meats. Like if the meat's about to expire, they'll put the meat in there. Discount it. Would love some discounted strawberries, though, for 10p instead of $7. Depression. Envy. Anyway.
To discounts on stuff, to old castle. These are the things I'm currently loving about the UK. Comment below, tell me something you love about the UK, and I'll see you all next time.
Cadbury mini eggs, never had them, would love to try them. Daffodils, hate them because they with my analytics. British vocabulary, love it. It's lovely. The level of sun, I think that's cool. I love it. Grass, I love it. I love a soft grass. Ruins, love them. Love ruins. Discounts, love discounts. I'm on board with everything but the daffodils, Kaylin. Now, if we could figure out a way to genetically eradicate daffodils from Britain, I think my numbers are going to go up. That's my next project. If you're in Britain and you have daffodil-specific poison, let me know. Well, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.